Hello, Yr8. Welcome back from half term. It's good to have you here. This is Mr. Ali with the Mr. Ali Show. Got a couple of updates. Firstly, with new webcams so that we have real-time video now in full HD. Sadly, we found that that's introduced or has amplified the audio issues. We'll be sorting that out hopefully in the next week. Now, we are going to go over to our REPL. And we're going to look at strings again and what we were working with last time. Here we have at Mr. Ali on REPL.it, we have a REPL called Yr8 Strings. And what we've learned is several things. Those of you who we had at the beginning of the year have gone over some of this, and we're going to take that to the next level. Those of you who've not had Python yet, have just started the carousel, we're going to catch you up. Now, there are two data types in Python. One is called a character, which is symbolized by char or car, and the other is a string. And a string is nothing more than a string of characters, or a bunch of characters strung together. It's the technical term, literally. Anytime we put input into Python, such as here, first name equals input, please enter your first name, even if that was a number, even if it was a funny character, it would always be a string. Python input is always a string. We have to turn it into something else, and we'll look at that next week. But today, we're going to take what we learned last time with strings, and we're going to take it to the next level. So, first name input, please enter your first name. If I run this, it's going to ask me that. Please enter your last name. Your name is James Ali. Yes, rock and roll. Now, let's look at how we can take input like this and do useful things with it. Say we have an application. We have a mobile phone app. Say we have a website and we want to create a profile for people. They enter their first and last name, but we use that to create a username. How would we go about doing that? Let's have a look. Okay, so what I've done is I've commented out the first bit of code we used. If you look here, 3 single quotes surrounding the code comments that out, so it's not going to run. I've taken the hash marks off the start here. For my comments, if I take the hash mark off, the environment, in this case REPL, we'll look at that as code. And in this case, this isn't code, it's comments, so I commented out with a hash mark. This will also work, like I said, if you put 3 single quotes around the bits that you want to comment out. So as we were, essentially what we have here is the same code. We're going to enter first name and surname. We're going to separate them by a space, but we're going to take that input and we're going to do some interesting things with it. So that first name, surname is going to be a variable called full name. Now, we're going to use the position space of the full name and create a variable called pause space, and it's fullname.find, and it's looking for the space. So, an area where there is no character in there. Then we're going to define another variable where the surname starts, or the last name, as I like to call it, is the position space +1. So every bit of this entered in is going to be indexed by Python. So the number of characters is the number, literally the number of characters, the numcars, and that's the length of the full name. len means the length. So it's going to measure the length of the full name variable. It's going to assign that to a variable called the numcars, the number of characters. And then we're going to do some interesting things with it. So we know where the space is between the first name and surname. We know where the surname starts. And we know what the number of characters there are in the entire full name. So let's take another variable. We're going to create a variable called initial. So what we want to do is create first initial, surname, and that equals your username. So we have the initial variable is the full name up here that we entered, and the index 0. As we recall, in Python and in computing, the first character, the first thing, is going to start at 0. Things start with 0. The second character will be 1. Third will be 2. Fourth will be 3, etc. Okay? And then the surname will be the full name, where the surname starts, and the number of characters, all together, and that will create its own variable. So let's try this out. Let's run it. Please enter your first name and surnames separated by a space. And that gives me a j.ali. Okay, so it's printing out the initial, which is the full name at index 0. So that's the first initial of that full name. Plus, I've put a dot in as some profiles, some email addresses, etc. like to put a dot between the first name and surname just to be able to give it a bit of usability. Then I've added the surname in, and it printed that out. So far so good. Let's see what we could do if we wanted to add in an extra bit and make it into an email address. How do you think we would do that? So we would put, say, at example.com. So let's see what we get. If we run this again, perhaps I want to create an email address for my new user at the website. Let's see how we do. Please enter your first name, surname. So the email address would be j.ali@example.com. Now, what I would like you to do is use this code, exact same code, but I want you to print out your email address is now, and then print out your first name say your name is first name surname. Your email address would be f.surname@example.com. But previous to that, I want you to prepend it to begin that with your email address is : Okay, does that sound good? And save this REPL with me. Come up here, click the share, save with @Mr. and I look forward to seeing that from you. Thanks very much. Cheers, bye-bye.